In the tiny town of Kittitas, population 1,100, 11-year-old Cody Haynes disappeared without a trace the night of September 11th after an argument with his parents.
They went inside the room, pulled back the covers. Cody wasn't there.
Officers say the boy's father has told several different stories about how his son disappeared.
They initially told the police that he had run away.
While 2.5 months have now passed since the little boy's disappearance, police are still treating this as a straight missing persons case, although they do have some serious concerns about the behavior of the boy's parents. They've stopped talking with investigators. They didn't attend a candlelight vigil for their son. They didn't even attend a citywide search for the boy.
Well, what struck me about Cody's case is the fact that his biological father and his biological father's girlfriend were the last two people to see him alive. The biological father has died, so the only one left is the girlfriend, and her name is Marla Harding.
He had so much to give. He had a big, big heart. He was my best friend.
Can you describe what's going on in the play?
That is where we were going for after-school safe plays. Cody's dancing around off in his little world, just doing his own thing. My name is Christian Marquez. I am Cody's older sister. Cody was autistic, so he just had a different way of thinking. He loved how things worked. He would take things apart. That's what one of his favorite things was. This is the most used photo because of his dimples, and it shows the light in his eyes. He always saw people's hearts, and he wore his on his sleeve like I do.
Kittitas is a small community. It's a rural community in central Washington. Very tight-knit community. One small school, not very many residents. My name is Steve Dunnigan. At the time of Cody's disappearance, I was the chief of police in Kittitas. Initially, there was searches around town and the hangouts for kids and things that were done.
A team of crime scene investigators carefully searched Cody Haynes' home.
And then that didn't result in anything, and nobody had seen anything. So yeah, it was disconcerting.
His family initially reported him missing as a runaway.
There was no evidence that Cody had run away. In fact, when they looked into that possibility, they found his backpack and his bicycle in the shed adjacent to that home. I'm Rose Winquist, and I'm investigating the disappearance of Cody Haynes. On the evening that he disappeared, all the kids were watching a movie. It was Cody's turn to do the dishes, and he'd ask Marla if he could wait until the movie was finished before he did the dishes, and she said sure, that was fine.
10 minutes later, she comes back and starts flipping out, and we were all sent to bed before we could see any other transgression.
And Cody was sent to the kitchen and was made to sit there for hours upon hours. The kids were in the other room and they heard him crying and screaming, and then about 2:30 didn't hear any more crying.
Christian went to bed scared. She remembers waking up and Cody's room was blocked off. She tells me Marla would go in there from time to time.
She would go back, get water or a pudding cup or some sort of food and talk, but there was no talking back.
Cody's dad wasn't there. He took off in the middle of the night on a drive, and he didn't return until 4 p.m. the next day.
The time frame is very suspicious now that we look at it, is that leaving at 2:30 in the morning and then returning at 4 p.m. It doesn't make any sense. He has that whole amount of time to do whatever.
The story wasn't making sense. And then when we called the dad in to come talk to us about it, Richard showed up with Marla. You could tell that Marla was definitely in charge. She would not let us talk to Richard alone, and they refused to talk at that point, and then they walked out. That was a good indicator that they knew more than what they were talking about.
Police say this case may be more than just a runaway child.
With the new information, I think we do have to look at the fact that he may have actually been assaulted here in his home by his caregiver or his father.
What stood out to me about his case is the fact that the only two people that really know what happened to Cody are his biological father and his biological father's girlfriend.
The Kittitas County Sheriff's Office tells King 5 Marla Harding is a person of interest in this case. I reached out to Marla over the phone. She identified herself, and when I said I'm investigating the disappearance of Cody Haynes, she hung up on me. I then emailed her and asked her if she was the last person to see Cody alive. She told me, I was not aware he had passed away. Thank you for notifying me. No comment. Do not contact me again. Cody's father passed away in 2019.
I did try to get answers for years from him, but he took it to the grave.
But yeah, it's one I couldn't solve. It does, it weighs on you.
That's the most sacred one that I have, that I always look at in the morning. I have it on my dresser, so when I wake up, I see him. When I go to bed, I see him.
Christian is really in need of finding her brother and putting this behind her. He was just this little 11-year-old kid with a big smile and dimples. He could have done great things in this world had he been allowed to live.
Any tiny clue, anything means the world to me, because Cody deserves justice.